Welcome to Inside the Firm, a podcast dedicated to small business owners and hosted by entrepreneurs, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko. Each week, they take you on their journey of how to start, run, and grow a business by bringing you inside their architecture and real estate development firm. Get a behind-the-scenes tour of how these business leaders manage their clients and foster company culture while creating new and innovative projects. And now your hosts, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko.
Welcome to Inside the Firm. I am your host, Lance Cayko, and I am not joined today by my co-host, Alex Gore. He is on vacation, so I figured I would try to do something a little different, a solo cast. And as many of you know, I try to read as much as I can, but due to my ADD, I can't really sit and read a book. So what I do is I do a lot of Audible books, and one of my favorite books that I've listened to / read recently is by Adam Carolla, and it's business related in the sense that Adam is all about business and not bullshit. And in today's society, as we are increasingly nerfing the world and running towards safetiness and not faced with danger every day, I thought I would share my favorite part of his book with everybody and just have you going into the weekend or the week. If you listen to this on Monday, I don't know when everybody listens to this. It seems there's all different routines that everybody has, but it's a clip I think that just speaks volumes. And if you feel kind of like I do, and Alex does too, is we're at the point of another turning. Another book that I've been reading lately, that I read lately, it's called The Fourth Turning. I highly recommend that book because we're on the cusp of an 80-year cycle. I know you guys have heard me talk about before the business cycle, and then I've recommended that you go read some Mises, you go read some Human Action by Mises, and understand the Austrian business cycle theory. The Austrians aren't always right about everything. Nobody really is. But they are right about boom and bust cycles, so again, back to Adam and his book. So the book I'm recommending for everybody, it's funny, it is thoughtful, it's all business and no bullshit, and that's what I love about Adam Carolla. And the book is called "I'm Your Emotional Support Animal: Navigating our all woke, no joke culture." It came out on June 16th, and when he was finishing the book, he was just finishing up, we just started all the lockdowns. We started with all the COVID stuff, and so he talks about part of that, and that's what this clip is ultimately about, but it's intriguing. And the other thing I would say, so, if people aren't familiar with Adam Carolla, he's the author of the New York Times bestsellers, In 50 Years We'll All Be Chicks, Not Taco Bell Material, President Me, and Daddy Stop Talking, as well as he's a radio and television host, comedian, actor, and he's well known as the co-host of the syndicated radio and MTV show Loveline, and the co-creator of The Man Show, Crank Yankers, and a contestant on Dancing with the Stars and Celebrity Apprentice with now the president, Mr. Trump. He currently hosts the Adam Carolla Show, one of my favorite podcasts that I listen to every day, and is the Guinness World Record holder for the most downloaded podcasts that's available on iTunes and adamcarolla.com. So it's the Adam Carolla Show. He's great. He's great. Why he speaks to me so much on a personal and professional level is because, since he does podcasts, and clearly he's an author and he's worked in film, I would consider that white collar, for the most part. But he's also a blue collar guy, and he's always talking about when he started. He'll always bring up carpentry, and for me, I'm like, man, that is just such a huge part of my life. I've been a carpenter since I was 13. I've always loved building stuff in that sense. I'm now fully, for sure, half blue collar, half white collar. And so is Alex. Like, Alex is now fully half color, half white collar, half blue collar. And as architects, and as you've heard us preach before on this podcast over and over again, if we're ever going to take back the master builder position, you gotta have a leg in each one. And I just think it's going to make you a more holistic person. It's going to give you a different kind of perspective on life, how you tackle problems, how you assess danger, how you assess risk, and how you go about your daily business. So it's probably enough blabbing. So that was kind of my intro, and I'm going to listen to the clip with you guys at the same time, and then kind of give you some feedback about what I think, and as you go through your weekend. So here we go.
Dawson, I'm going to go on a little free jag here for a second. As we record this, we're right in the middle of this lockdown pandemic, and something that's come to my mind is why we don't have the proper relationship with danger. What is real danger? What is made up danger? What is invisible danger? And it struck me that we used to have a great relationship with danger because every day we had to renew our vows. We had to have that relationship with danger. If you have a job where you work with a chainsaw, every single day you have to re-up with danger, recalibrate with danger. When you have an invisible job where you just go to a cubicle and stare at a screen all day and then watch CNN, you lose your relationship with danger. Every guy who works with me, who works on the side of the building that works with blades and saws and tools and cutting wheels and acetylene rigs and fire, all those guys, punch presses, every single day they calibrate. If they don't calibrate, they lose a hand, they lose a finger, they'll get their hair caught in a drill press, and it'll pull your scalp off. Anyone listening, have you guys fired up like a big bandsaw with a big 4-inch blade on it? It's hairy, it's scary. You have to calibrate all the time. If you pick up a big 3 horsepower plunge router and fire that thing up that thing just with a 1/2-inch chuck and a carbide tip blade on it, that thing's a monster. It'll hurt you badly. You'll feel the torque in your hands. And speaking of torque, if you fire up one of those big impact guns with 600 foot-pounds of torque to take that big center lock off the hub to remove the rim of a race car, that thing will break your forearm if you don't have the right relationship with it and you don't prepare for it. So all those guys do is live in that world. And for the people who live in that world, for the loggers and the truckers and the carpenters and the high-rise steel guys, that's their world. When something like this pandemic comes down the pike, they then assess it through the eyes of someone who has a relationship with danger. And then they think to themselves, well, how old am I? I'm 41. Okay. Am I morbidly obese? No. Do I have pre-existing conditions? No. What about my kids? Well, it doesn't seem to affect them. Okay. I'm assessing my relationship with danger. Now, all the people, and there's more and more of these people who have taken to the cubicles of life, all they do is light their fucking underwear on fire and run around in a circle because they don't have a relationship with it. They can't figure it out. And the news people are the furthest away from the relationship with danger, and they make more money if we can get more people to light their fucking underwear on fire. So they just spout that out. Then all the dumb people, and I don't mean dumb because they have college degrees on plaques on the wall behind them where they're panicking in their office. They're literally sitting in an office panicking with duct tape and towels pushed under the door so germs don't float under it. And behind them is a whole bunch of degrees from prestigious universities. Those people panic the most, not because they're dumb. They're book smart. They're danger dumb. They're danger dumb. They don't have a relationship with tools, the world. How about just getting on a horse that may be a little temperamental? When's the last time you did that? All the things we used to have to do. You think about what a logger has to do. You think about what a guy out there in the forest with a chainsaw or an axe has to do when he's cutting down a tree. He's got to figure out a whole bunch of shit. Otherwise, he's going to be crushed. He's not going to make it to Tuesday of the first week. Or how about the guy who loads up that big flatbed truck with all the logs and then lashes them down and then heads down the mountain road? You don't think those guys are well-versed in danger? And then tell me how scared those guys are of the next pandemic or this pandemic or the killer bees coming from Africa or AIDS being a equal opportunity killer or secondhand smoke causing 50,000 Americans to die every year. You tell me, because they're not, because they have a relationship. You guys who may be in your cubicle need to go out to the garage and reacquaint yourself with tools so you can reacquaint yourself with danger. And once you calibrate yourself, then you're in a much better position. And don't tell me this condescending bullshit. When the people who are cowering in their offices right now with all the fucking degrees and awards behind them for their academic excellence, they would say, oh, well, the guys in my shop that are operating a cutting wheel, operating a carborundum blade right now with sparks shooting out of it all over the place, they would condescendingly say, those guys aren't smart enough to know what's really going on. That's condescending bullshit. They know how to work. They know how to assess danger. Every time you build a scaffolding and have to climb up to the top of it to put stucco up on the top of the third floor of the apartment building you guys are building, that's an assessment with danger. They have worked it out. You guys haven't. So please recalibrate.
I would ask that everybody who listened to that not don't get offended or get offended. It's up to you. But the idea with sharing with that with you with that clip with everybody was I think it's okay to get shooken up every once in a while. I think it's okay for things to kind of to be upended in your life, because it makes you reassess where you're at with things, right? And I know many of you listening actually do calibrate every day. You're calibrating your relationship with danger because maybe you have taken that leap to be a design/build firm. Maybe you have taken that leap where you've built your own house. Maybe you are doing stuff with power tools and heavy machinery, or you're driving race cars like Adam does, and you're recalibrating your relationship with danger. What could it hurt for you to do something like that in your life when we have the opportunity for a reset right now? You have the opportunity to go out there and start something where you are having to calibrate your relationship with danger every single day. It's only going to make you more stronger, isn't it? Aren't you going to challenge yourself if you take on something like that? So, like I said, I'm half white collar, half blue collar. Alex is half white collar, half blue collar. Our team, for the most part, is partially blue collar. Ross and Sam were in the field all week. Ross particularly pulled him out of the office. He's recalibrating his relationship with danger. Bill and Michael, they're out there all the time, constantly recalibrating on a roof that we're doing right now with a 612 pitch, a 712 pitch, steep thing. They're calibrating their relationship with danger. Danger's never going away, ever. There will be more viruses. There will be more financial crises. You have to be prepared to be able to handle that. Maybe you're getting into a lawsuit. You got to be able to calibrate and understand your relationship with that, because those things have the potential to wear you down. And that's where you start to get into the self-inflicted danger, because you can't withstand the presence of danger. Instead, you should be calibrating yourself so not so that you're laughing in the face of danger, but you're able to look at it right in the eye and take control of your life and still be in control of that, professional, personal, all of those things. There is nothing wrong with getting out of the cubicle, so to speak, the metaphorical cubicle or the actual cubicle. If you're a white-collar listener listening to this podcast, I would challenge you guys and you gals and everybody else to do that. So that's what I wanted to leave you guys with. The other thing is, once you're done recalibrating your relationship with danger, is I want you to go to Dell.com/inside the firm and consider picking up a new piece of machinery for yourself that won't make you assess and recalibrate your relationship with danger, right? Because it'll be a computer, it'll be a flat screen. But when you're back in the cubicle, you're going to need that stuff to make it happen. You can get incredible discounts if you go to Dell.com/inside the firm. And then the other thing you can do once you get that piece of hardware, the computer, the new computer screen, is go to arcat.com, ARCAT.com, and you can start building better content today. Arcat is a sponsor of this podcast as well as Dell. So check those guys out and have a good weekend.